Oh gosh. I'm getting nervous.
Josie Rizal is a very lively girl, and her gameplay reflects that. She's always on the move, either tiptoeing around looking for mistakes to punish, or darting in with her crouch dash and wailing at the opponent with her tricky string-based offensive. And to spice things up, she can freely go back and forth between the two playstyles, making her effective at all ranges. While Josie has excellent punishment and counter-hit moves, she lacks basic tools such as a generic down-forward 1 that most poke and punish characters normally center their game plan around. She makes up for this with her own unique brand of poke strings, complete with delayable extensions, stance transitions, crouch dash cancels, and some funky crush moves. All these together make her an interesting, generic but unique character. Great overall whiff and block punishment, complete with a 13-frame while standing launcher. Easily one of the best in the game in this respect. Powerful string-oriented offense. Strong counter-hit game. Flexible wall carry and high wall combo damage. Weak to sidestep left, though she does have tools to shut this down. Low combo damage on infinite stages. No safe natural hitting launchers outside of up 3, thus requiring commitment to deal big damage outside of counter hits. Jabs are always good moves no matter what character you use, and are useful to gauge opponents' tendencies with. However, Josie tends to rely more on her jabs due to the absence of a generic 13-frame down-forward 1 mid-poke, the main difference between her and most poke-heavy characters. She does have the option to continue into strings. Outside of 10-frame jab punishment, in 1-4-3 and 1-2-2, she has the following options.
1-2-3 and 2-3 ends in a mid-knee that is jab punishable on block and gives frame advantage on a hit. It is mostly used to dissuade opponents from moving after the jabs. The 3 itself stuns for a combo on counter hit. 1-2-4 and 2-4 ends in a high that automatically puts Josie in switch. The 4 is duckable though, but it does launch if connect on counter hit, similar to a magic 4. 1-2 down 4-4 and 2 down 4-4 ends in a low high kicks, but both hits are duckable and punishable. The 4th hit will stuff any attempts to hastily punish the 3rd.
1-2 is a natural combo, and each hit after the 2 is guaranteed if the previous hit connects on counter hit. It should be noted that although the extensions are exactly the same, the starting jabs differ in startup speeds. 1-2 is 10 frames, and is better for interrupting aggressive pitbulls. Standing 2 is slower at 12 frames, but can immediately go into extensions, giving opponents one less hit to react to. By switching her right leg forward, Josie adopts an open stance called SWS or switch, which leads to a variety of powerful options. There is no way to manually enter switch. Instead, Josie automatically transitions into it after the right kick of the following moves: 1-2-4, 2-4, down 3-4, and down forward 4.
Switch 1 is a safe high, counter hit launcher that imposes crouch status on block. Switch 1 is Josie's go-to options in this stance, as it is uninterruptible, though it can be ducked. Use it to condition opponents not to challenge switch. It also spikes and floor breaks in combos. Switch 2 is a safe mid that is positive on normal hit and launches on counter hit. Surprisingly, this move tracks well to both sides. Switch 3 is a homing low that launches on counter hit and has the same starting animation as Switch 2, making it a visual mix-up. This is Josie's only switch move that is punishable on block. Switch 4 is a safe knockdown mid with pushback on block. It wall splats on it, but is easily steppable, and a successful jab interrupt will float Josie for a combo. Switch forward goes into crouch dash.
Switch is an integral part of Josie's game, in that mixing up Josie's strings that go into switch and those that don't is a good way of throwing off your opponent's defense. Another way of opening up a patient opponent is to vary the timing of your attacks. All switch attacks, as well as those from crouch dash, can be delayed, though it does make them more susceptible to interruption. And the ideal case is when you condition the opponent to respect switch. You can then do switch forward to enter crouch dash, adding another layer to the mix-up. Josie's standing 3 covers for the absence of a generic down forward 1 as her fastest mid from standing. It has amazing range and extensions. 3-2 is a mid-mid string that is used to discourage opponents from challenging the crouch dash option. The last hit is delayable, knocks down on counter hit, and can also be cancelled into a crouch dash with 3-2 forward. 3-3 is a painful counter hit string, and although the last hit is duckable, it is safe on block and knocks down and wall splats on hit. Both extensions are delayable, making it possible to catch trigger-happy opponents off guard, though both extensions, as well as the initial 3, are all fairly linear. She also has 3 forward 3, but she can be jab floated out of the second hit if the first hit is blocked, and its use is mostly limited to combos.
Josie's Magic 4, a fast high kick with decent range that launches on counter hit. Very easy to set up, though not to be thrown out at random because of its linearity and being duckable. Forward 3 is a mid knee that is safe on block, has a little bit of tracking to Josie's left, though still easily sidewalkable, and gives frame advantage on hit. On counter hit, you can float the opponent with a jab or a standing 4 into a full combo. Forward 3+4 is an excellent counter hit tool. It is a mid-knee that is safe on block and with great tracking to Josie's right. It does have considerable startup, so is best used as a frame trap, like after forward 3 or while running 3.
Down forward 4 is a long-range mid that tracks to Josie's right and has a low hitbox. For example, it can hit Zhao Yu in Art of Phoenix and Eddie in Relax Stance. It is also a mid single hit into switch, which is great as in addition to its speed, range, and tracking, it gives opponents only one hit to react to switch stance. Another reason why down forward 4 is considered to be the superior switch entry tool is because on average, you'll enter switch with more frame advantage using down forward 4. Down 3-4 is strictly for combos, and you'll hit with down forward 4 more than 1-2-4 and 2-4 because the additional hits gives the opponent more time to block or duck. This means that you can often make better choices from switch when down forward 4 connects. Down forward 4 is also a pickup tool because of its hitbox. For example, down forward 4 immediately after forward 1+2 dash down forward 1-4-2 will pick up for a combo if the opponent doesn't tech. Forward 1+2 is a great whiff and block punisher. It's got decent range and gives guaranteed follow-ups on hit, down 3+4 for simplicity, or dash down forward 1-4-2 for max damage. It is also guaranteed after a counter hit while standing 1, leading into big damage. Another thing is that Josie jumps during this move, making it a low crushing tool that leads to high damage. Still, it's not without its flaws. Forward 1+2 is a duckable high that is easily stepped in both directions. Stepping right will put you directly behind Josie for a damaging back-turned combo.
Down forward 2 and up forward 4 are Josie's fastest neutral hit launches and have similar applications. Down forward 2 is arguably the best down forward 2 in the game. It has great range, tracks to Josie's left up close, it launches crouchers, and even has some low hitbox frames. Up forward 4 crushes lows, can be used from crouch, and also has some phantom low hitbox frames.
Up back 3, up 3, and up forward 3 is basically Josie's own orbital heal. Though a little bit slower than the original, it can jump over a wider variety of attacks, for example, Paul's infamous Death Fist. While it is safe on block, Josie can be floated during the jump animation, and it is easily steppable, especially when doing the up or up-back versions. So don't just throw this out randomly. Interestingly, the retreating version, up back 3, will sometimes be out of range of jabs, wherein Josie avoids getting floated and can still get a combo on hit. With while standing 2-1 at her disposal, Josie is one of only 4 characters that can launch punish at 13 frames from crouch. The combo after might take some practice to be consistent, but it is well worth the effort if you plan to main Josie. Other alternatives for when you don't need the combo to kill and just want an easy win are crouch dash 3 and down 3+4. As an added bonus, while standing 2-1 jails on block and can be cancelled into sway back in case you mistime the punish, making it possible to avoid some but not all forms of retaliation, while also having her sway back options at your disposal.
Back 4-3 is an advancing kick and knee attack. It is linear, but safe on block, and gives frame advantage on hit. It does have extensions, but they aren't really worth using. And you are almost always going to be using back 4-3 by itself anyway. It is worth mentioning that this move is not to be confused with forward 4-3, which is unsafe.
Josie's crouch dash is incredible. It covers a lot of distance, and with input buffering, Josie can use crouch dash to extend the range of some moves, for example, crouch dash forward 3. Josie can also transition into the crouch dash from the following moves: 3-2, down forward 3-2, switch, and backswing. The actual moves from crouch dash are all ridiculously good too.
Crouch dash 1-3 is an advancing, non-jailing high string strictly for combos. Crouch dash 2 is a high damage, long range launcher, perfect for punishing big whiffs like Asuka's forward 2. Crouch dash 3 is a high damage low that gives frame advantage on hit and knocks down on counter hit for follow-ups. For example, a guaranteed crouch dash 3. Crouch dash 4 is Josie's while standing 4 from a crouch dash. It is uninterruptible when used from a 3-2 forward or down forward 3-2 forward on hit. On block, it also gives some pushback that, when combined with movement, can be used to create whiffs.
Be mindful of using crouch dash, as Josie is vulnerable during the animation. Despite the input, this is not a Mishima crouch dash that you can chain together or cancel. This is especially true when going into crouch dash from a blocked 3-2 or down forward 3-2. For example, when in no sword stance, Yoshimitsu can use flash to interrupt all crouch dash options except 4 and 1. When done from 3-2 or down forward 3-2 even on hit. Against sleepy opponents, the mix-up between crouch dash 2 and 3 can be really abusable, especially from a range where a naked crouch dash animation is much shorter than that from a transition. 3+4 is Josie's fastest homing move, but it is a high and can be ducked. Back 3 is a little slower, but is mid and safe. Though it doesn't knock down, it wall splats on normal hit. And lastly, she has forward 4, which is also a safe mid but has short range. You can buffer it after a small dash by holding the second forward a bit though. The main reason to use forward 4 over back 3 is that it launches on counter hit.
Forward 3+4 is Josie's command throw, which is a 1+2 break. It also wall splats for a combo.
Back 1 is another string starter. It's one frame slower than her regular jab, but has a different set of extensions. Back 1 is a high natural combo screw attack, though there isn't much point in using it, except for easy mode combos. Back 4 is another one of Josie's strings. The first 2 hits are a natural combo, the second and third hits are both mids, and the last 2 hits are delayable. Safety-wise, the third hit is a knee, but is jab punishable, and the last hit is high, but safe on block, knocks down, and wall splats. As with her jab strings, each individual hit after the 2 is guaranteed if the previous hit connected on counter hit.
Down forward 3 by itself, high crushes, but it's slow, tracks well, but can be evaded with a sidewalk, and is -13 on block. Down forward 3-2 is the same mid extension as 3-2 with the same properties, and can also be cancelled into crouch dash with down forward 3-2 forward.
Fully crouched down forward 4 is one of Josie's high damage lows from crouch. Josie stretches her legs really far, tracking to her right during the kick, and she also stays crouching throughout the move. It is a bit slow and unsafe on block, so it is best to use at max range to make it a bit more difficult to punish. On counter hit, fully crouched down forward 4 causes a knockdown state that gives a guaranteed crouch dash 3. Against certain characters with bigger hitboxes, counter hit fully crouched down forward 4 is a launcher. It can pick up Bears, Miguel, Bob, Steve, Paul, Dragunov, Gigas, Jack, and King, with forward 4-3, down forward 4, switch, forward, crouch dash 1-3 into a screw. While standing 3 is similar to forward 3+4, and is also a knee that gives a free crouch dash 3 on normal hit and a combo on counter hit. It has similar applications but different setups as it comes from crouch, usually as a mix-up to fully crouch down forward 4, as well as having more pushback. While standing 1 is a faster alternative to while standing 3, and has better recovery on both hit and block. On counter hit, forward 1+2 is guaranteed for huge damage off of a fast, safe mid attack. Although linear and slow, forward 3 is one of Josie's better moves on block. It gives enough frame advantage that a down forward 2 is uninterruptible. Buffering it from a crouch dash extends its range even further. Forward 3 also knocks down on normal hit, so the frames are always in your favor, as long as forward 3 doesn't whiff.
On counter hit, back +2 shifts into this awesome attack throw that leaves the opponent sideways on the ground. Normally, this type of move is subpar, but because it gives great Oki on top of frame advantage on both neutral hit and block, it is decent to use every now and then. It is duckable and linear though, so use sparingly. While it is a little slow and very linear, down back 2 has decent range and crushes highs. It knocks down on normal hit and gives a full combo on counter hit. Down 3+4 is Josie's "Get up!" move. It hits grounded and flip them over. When it connects at his stand, down 3+4 knocks down and wall splat. It does decent damage by itself and is free after certain knocks down, For example, after a counter hit down forward 1 for 2.
While the actual move is called sway back, it isn't your regular backsway. It is an actual stance that reverts back to default stance when no other input is made. Nevertheless, sway back does have its uses as a fringe evasive move with extensions. Sway back 1 is a high launcher. It is unsafe on block though. Sway back 2 is a knockdown mid that launches on counter hit. It is also unsafe on block. Sway back forward goes into Josie's crouch dash for mix-ups. This is Josie's best option of the 3 extensions, but getting the opponent to stop pressing buttons is a lot harder from sway back than it is from switch. Sway back can also be done from while standing 2-1, and considering that while standing 2-1 jails on block, it could be used to bait whiffs, especially jabs, but will lose to moves with bigger hitboxes.
1+2+3 is Josie's taunt, and since not every character has one, it is worth mentioning. You can use it to fake cry after your opponent defeat, and it can be used effectively as roleplay tool in specific situations.
Get ready to fly! Take this! Hit! You're finished!
Josie's Rage Drive comes out from her crouch dash. It is a launcher on normal hit, and gives significant advantage on block, though the pushback can stifle some options. When used as a launcher, it is recommended to use screw immediately to reorient, for example, back 1-1. As a bonus, it turns while standing 1 into a fast, safe, mid-counter hit launcher, as well as a viable high wall splat tool in the right combos.
Josie's Rage Art doesn't really do anything aside from dealing damage and being awesome.
Get ready to fly! Take this! Hit! You're finished!
Only used in combos when it guarantees a KO, or as a pseudo power crush when the hit is guaranteed. When used in combos, it is possible to get in a forward 3 before using the Rage Art post-screw in the open.
Your worst nightmare. Keep it up, kid.
Bruce has undergone quite a few changes since Tekken Tag Tournament 2. The main difference between Bruce and Josie, aside from the obvious, is that she lacks his back 2, an incredibly powerful space control tool, and somewhat makes up for it with her unique string-based offensive, which can quickly overwhelm unprepared opponents. Brosie is a versatile character with one of the best set of punishers in the game. She's got long-range combo starters for punishing whiffs, high damage block punishers, and even one of the best while standing punishers in the game. In addition to that, she has plenty of moves with crush properties, some of which are launchers. She can quickly close gaps with her crouch dash and advancing strings, and unlike other poke-heavy characters, that spam 1 or 2 moves multiple times combined with movement, Josie makes use of strings with branching extensions, mixing them up to slowly chip away at the opponent's health until they make a move, playing right into her strong counter-hit game. Josie has fairly weak tracking, especially to the left, but she has great homing moves to keep opponents in check, as well as a great move in down forward 4, which tracks to her weak side.
Another strong point of Josie is her combos. She doesn't have safe neutral hit launchers outside of up 3, and even her counter hit launchers have some abusable weaknesses. But when she does find those openings, she can customize her combo length accordingly by altering her string fillers. And while her combo damage is just below average on infinite stages, her wall carry and wall combo damage is one of the best in the game.
Overall, Josie is one of those easy to learn but difficult to master kind of characters, in the sense that while her game plan and execution are fairly simple, getting maximum use out of her strings and stances and using them effectively in combination with movement takes some experience.
You're safe now.
Be patient. When going on the offensive, sometimes you can abuse an unsafe move when you know enemies can't punish it, or if the risk-reward ratio is in your favor. For example, using -10 moves against Asuka. Josie will have none of that. Her punishment game is a cut above the rest, so it is important to choose your attacks wisely. Equally important is to properly choose when to attack. Josie's arsenal includes a lot of counter-hit tools that are usually hidden behind other moves. A perfect example is her forward 3. On block, forward 3+4 will counter-hit launch any attempt at retaliation, and even if forward 3+4 is blocked and Josie is at negative frames, the resulting pushback can sometimes allow Josie to bait whiffs.
Try not to get overwhelmed when defending against an aggressive Josie. A good Josie player can tell when you are rattled and will use that against you. For example, multiple lows when you are blocking too much, or counter hits when you impatiently push buttons, while the endless barrage of strings and various extensions often make it difficult to tell when you can make your move. It does not come without risk. Josie's strings are a commitment. Either she stops at her jabs, or she played a risk-reward game with the extensions. After the jabs, none of the extensions are guaranteed on normal hit, and all the extensions are either punishable mids or duckable highs/lows. One block punish can be enough to sow insecurity in Josie, sometimes forcing her to fall back to a more defensive playstyle.
Learn to sidestep and crouch. The majority of Josie's moves are fairly linear, though she does have some good homing moves. Don't be too intimidated by them. A lot of her strings also have highs and lows in them. Learn to crush or parry these. Take note that some strings have delayable extensions with strong counter-hit properties. When in doubt, keep in mind that it's better to take a normal hit, for example a low, than to get counter-hit and eat a whole lot of damage. Josie has a right punch reversal. It's not something you see often, but it's there, and is something you have to watch out for if your character is one that tends to spam right punches a lot. For example, Jack 7.
For 1-2-4 and 2-4,
duck the last hit.
For back 1-2-4-4,
duck the last hit, but be careful of the delay.
For forward 3,
respect this move on block. Look out for Josie's crouch dash 2 or crouch dash 3 at around range 2 to 2.5. Both moves are punishable on block. She can also go into crouch dash from 3-2, down forward 3-2, and switch. Of all the options, only crouch dash 4 is uninterruptible, and even then only off of 3 and down forward 3 on hit. Remember that crouch dash 1 can be ducked. You can stuff every option with a 13 frame mid if Josie does a crouch dash from a blocked 3-2 or down forward 3-2. While her crouch dash moves are virtually unseeable when done from a raw crouch dash, if done from a move transition, you can visually see the crouch dash itself before the move comes out. Also, note that Josie has the option of going through with the mid, 3-2 or down forward 3-2, to counter hit those that challenge crouch dash. Most of Josie's fully crouched options give freebies on counter hit, so be wary of pressing buttons against a crouching Josie. Outside of down 4 and the occasional down forward 3, Josie's close range lows will be coming from her jab strings, namely 1-2 down 4, 2 down 4, down forward 1-4, and forward 2-3. Use the extra hits to react to the lows, but be wary of the mid extensions. Once Josie enters switch stance, the safest option you have is standing guard and eating the low. If you're confident in your reaction time, fuzzy guarding is the most effective, especially given the obvious audio cues. Josie shouts when she does a kick move from switch, and the difference in impact frames. In order of fastest to slowest, it is switch 1, duck, 2, mid block, 3, low block or parry, and 4, mid block. Whatever the case, it simply isn't worth contesting when most of the follow-ups are counter-hit launches. Note that Josie also has the option to go into crouch dash from switch, though this is only really threatening from a switch transition on hit.
And now for the block punish part, mit Yaffe.
Gotta focus.
This combo section is going to be a bit different from the ones you are used to see on the channel. Wait, haven't I said that already? So yeah, it won't be narrated, all the informations will be given to you on the screen. As for one that is not obvious, the damage output on the bottom right will be blue if it does not count the launcher and pink if it does. Now, enjoy! And it can also be used effectively as a role. And it can also be used effectively as a roleplay tool in specific situations. And it can be used effectively as a roleplay tool in specific situations. God damn it.